Hey, let's continue creating the animated title. Right now, what we have is this. Once upon a time, in a world, and then with stop. Now it's time to create another text. Let's see, let's open the camera orbit null, the position. Okay, so we are here, and now we should stay there like a second and a half, just like we did here. Try to be consistent on the times. If we have on this part from here, from this point to this point, we take a second. So from this point to this point should be there a second too. And you can see that the transition here stays for 1.5 seconds. So here on this world text, we should stay also a 1.5 seconds. So here we are on a second, and then half a second should be around this point. Now let's create a new keyframe here. Perfect. Maybe we can even drag it here a little. And now on this transition, I want to move in the z-axis. Right now we have, so far we have moved on the x-axis and on the y-axis here. Now I want to move here on the z-axis. So I'm going to move ahead 1 second and create a new keyframe. And now I'm going to move through the z-axis. I have two ways to do it. I can go to the custom view and move this like that. You can see that I'm moving on the z-axis, or we could just go to the active camera and drag this. The third one is the z-axis. We can drag this to the right, and we will start closing in some more. So we need to move like 3000. So we are here on this point, and we zoom in, and bam, here is the next text. We should probably go even farther away. Maybe it should be like 4000. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, this is fine. So take a look at how the particles look when we go to the z-axis. You can see how they look kind of like a Star Wars thing or something. They're moving through us. It's like a tunnel, space tunnel or something. So this looks really cool. Okay, so here we need to create another text. So we will follow the same thing that we did on the previous lesson. Let's duplicate this. Let's open our pre-comp and copy these two layers by pressing Ctrl C, or just going to edit and copy. It's the same. And now on our main composition, we're going to press Ctrl B, and we're going to delete the duplicate. And now let's start writing. Here it should read something like, I don't know, maybe in a world dominated by robots. Dominated by robots. Yeah, that could be a good movie. It's not like there are 1,000 movies about robots dominating the world yet. So I'm going to hit aligned here. Perfect. And now let's type the same thing here. Dominated by robots. I'm going to align this as well. Now of course this one should be in this position like this. Alright, now let's grab all these two layers, right click on them and press pre-compose, and now we can call this dominated. Cool. Now let's set the color to orange so that we have the three texts on the same color. Alright, so the same thing is going to happen as before. When we hit the 3D layer, it will disappear because it will go to the same position as the first text, because this is the original position of the text. So we're going to active camera, and now we're going to open the position settings here for the camera orbit null, and we're going to open the position here for the dominated by robots text, and we're going to copy this keyframe and paste it here. So now we have the same text. So let's take a look at how this looks. Alright, we come from this point, we go up and see in a world, and then we zoom in to this text. But something is wrong here, and you can see it. When we get here, we can already see this text, the dominated by robots text. So this is not good because it doesn't make any sense to have this text here. So what we need to do is really easy. Just grab this text and we will set it to start on a different point. This text should start right here when we are in front of this text, when we are at the point most close to the inner world text. So if I want this text to start here, what I have to do is to select the opening bracket on the keyboard and press it here, and now the layer will start here. You can see that the edge is here in this point, right when the timeline is. So this text will start right here. So now if we hit play, you can see it says in a world dominated by robots. So far it's looking really cool, but I think these two are still too close to each other, this text. I would love if we could travel some more into the Z-axis when we get there. So I'm going to move this camera orbit to 7,000 in, and I'm going to do the same for the text. Press 7,000. So now we should have some more traveling into this axis. Let's take a look. This is great, but now what we need to do is to take this last keyframe, the position keyframes, and make them a little longer so that the transition takes more time, and the same goes for the dominated. Now if I hit play, you can see that the camera takes longer to reach to this point, so we can enjoy more this part we can enjoy more the depth of the space that we just created. So that's really cool. Perfect. So that's it for this transition. You can see how cool it looks when we're traveling through the third dimension. Now it's time for another transition. So let's go to the next lesson.